YouTube group, this ministry channel, is made of evangelicals and Orthodox people. I like them. I love them all. I don't see them as, oh, you're this, you're that.
Mhm.
This is where you're wrong. This is where I'm right. I love them all. I believe they're all people of God, saved, cleansed, sealed by the Holy Spirit, belonging to God. So this question is not to make anyone upset. I'm just giving the background for any viewer, but also to you, because when I was forming the group, I wasn't necessarily looking who is Catholic or evangelical or Orthodox. I wanted all of us to be here together, commenting and discussing different things, to have unity despite diversity. So for me, my question to you, Doug, as evangelicals, you and me, and most of the viewers, I would assume, are evangelicals. Have you ever found compelling exorcist reports where Eastern Orthodox or Roman Catholics use tools such as holy water, crucifixion or cross, mentioning Mary, and some stuff? Because even though I don't see clearly these things are not in the Bible as tools, but I watched numerous, I watched seriously a number of videos, both from Catholic priests and from Orthodox priests, where they're saying they will use these tools and the demons were fleeing, they were scared, they were irritating, either by the mentioning of Virgin Mary, or by the cross, or by holy water. They would make the person they possessed, yelling, screaming, all of these things. In your experience, because you said you met hundreds of seers and you had a number of demonic encounters, did any of these things helped you? Any of these tools, did they ever help you to fight the demonic powers? And even if they did, if it did you ever feel like, oh, I'm going Catholic, I'm going Orthodox? So you're just like, oh no, these are God-given tools that I have no problem using. They're not sinful.
Yeah. I have a chapter on blessed salt, blessed water, and oil. I can't remember how I word it. Look, yes. You know why? Why it helps? You know why these things help? Because it builds faith. It's faith building. Do you need these tools? If it builds your faith, then yeah, use them. If you don't need the tools, if it doesn't build your faith, then it won't. It won't. It's your faith that matters. Ritual liturgy is faith building to much of the world and a lot of traditions, and that's hard for like charismatics, Pentecostals to wrap their head around. But it is, man. There's something to it. The architecture of a building, there's tradition behind it, and that is faith. It builds your faith. Something about the Roman Catholic Church and then also the Orthodox, they have centuries of research into this. Like they go back over 1,000 years, right? They've thought that, yeah, they have scholars who have been wrestling with this. And a lot of people will look at the worst moments of these churches. Don't look at the worst moments. Everyone knows the worst moments. Look at the best moments. When I was in grad school, I studied history. We read in Europe, in Italy, there was some encounters, some accusations of witchcraft in the late Middle Ages in this town, and the Catholic Church sent a couple of scholars to do the investigation. They wanted to know, were there really witches, or we just didn't want to feed the old lady who was, a widow. And what they concluded was it wasn't a witch. It was the town didn't want to feed the old lady who was a widow, and they accused her of being a witch so they could kill her. And they said, no, but how do they do the research? How do they investigate? Because they had centuries at that point, centuries of knowledge. They knew there were witches. They believed in pagan powers and principalities. And they used their tools to research and realize, nope, you guys don't like her. You need to be like Jesus. You need to take care of her. And so I say all that to say we shouldn't just be so dismissive of these tools that are building faith in a lot of traditions. And look at the fruit. Is the fruit someone who is freed and God's king? So is the fruit someone who is God's God's kingdom is growing in that area. So as there's more of God's rule, and so that's the thing. If sometimes I'll have thoughts, not sometimes, a lot of times, I'll have thoughts that are not God's rule. Like God's not ruling in that thought. And I should think, that wasn't God's rule. I need to take that thought captive, right? Take our thoughts captive. And so in behavior and different things, what we watch on TV and is God ruling in that? Let him rule in that. And so, yes, those things are faith building. Use them. I don't have a problem with that at all. As long as God's rule is growing, is.
Yeah, I'm always reminded of Jesus' words when it comes to dealing with demonic. Fast and prayer they have to be simply number one. But then, yeah, all the other tools, unless they're sinful, yeah, I see them also as beneficial.